Say what you want about AI, but it's here. And it's helping businesses get more done in a day. Wix's website builder is infused with AI so you can stay ahead. Create a beautiful, functional website just by describing your idea. Track how your site appears in AI search results. Create custom images on demand or launch an entire campaign in a matter of minutes. Wix gives you AI wherever you need it. Try it now for free at Wix.com.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another five-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it, and guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
This is episode 433 of Wheel Bearings. I almost said 344. That would be like almost 2 years ago.
It's the time between Christmas and New Year's Day, so time doesn't matter. Like this week, nothing is real.
Truthfully, does time ever really matter?
Not really.
Let's not start philosophical.
There's a really good book that I want everyone. You guys start talking, I'll tell you. I'll find the book that I'm reading. It's really good.
All right, and I'm Sam Abul-Samad from Telemetry.
I'm Nicole Wakeland from AutoWeb. We'll say this week.
Did you say Ottawa?
Well, no, AutoWeb.
AutoWeb. Okay.
Not
Have you ever been to
Ottawa?
Ottawa?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, you've probably been there. I'm Roberto Baldo from SAE International, and the book I was talking about is called The Order of Time. The Order of Time. Give it a read. It's a great.
Feels like
time
a
have
lot
an
for
order?
the week that we're talking about.
No, that's the whole point
now.
of the whole. the whole point of the book.
Stuff just kind of happens and falls in.
Like there's no
somewhere.
such
You roll with it.
There's a lot of things like there's no such thing as now because you can't quantify something that's by the time you think you perceive that it's happening has already happened.
It's already in the past.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as now. There's no such thing as like if you're on one planet, someone's on the other planet. There's no shared like space and time. The idea that if you live higher up in the the further you away from gravity, the slower time moves. So if you live in the mountains, you're actually younger than your friends who live at the sea.
Does this book also discuss the time variance authority?
No.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you nerds, stop!
But it gets really like how we perceive time. It's great if you're a big
time nerd. Should I be expecting
nerd.
Loki to just bust in the middle of the show and run across your screen now, Sam?
You never know.
You never know. Anyway, the Order of Time by Carlo. What's his name? Gosh.
Not energy.
Oh no.
Drive.
I'll tell you the time.
That sounded very smart. Whatever was
Carlo
happening there.
Rovelli. Rovelli.
Okay, noted.
Okay.
The Order of Time. It's wonderful.
I will look it up and see if it's on Hoopla or Libby. While Nicole tells us what she's been driving.
I have been driving now, and I have this for 3 weeks because of the way the holiday works. So I'm really, really living with the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, which after 2 weeks with it, I have my thoughts. First of all, the seats heat up really, really super fast, and so does the steering wheel, and that is a plus. My negatives are that this hybrid, it is loud. I've been driving around with family in this car, like, is your car okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. This is what it sounds like. No, but people are really noticing it. Like you do feel like when you mash the gas on this, it's like, really? Really? You expect me to go? It sounds so loud. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder hybrid. There's 3 electric motors, and it has a CVT that sounds every bit like a CVT, and it has 196 horsepower. It's just not a lot. It just is, it has the hallmarks of something that is very much, I want a little crossover, but I don't have a budget, and I need it to feel like a starter car vibe. Which, if you're going for, is fine. I mean, it's attractive inside. I'm in the top.
Does anybody really want a starter car vibe, though?
I know. Well, no, but you're not vibe. Starter car. You have a starter car budget or something, I guess.
Okay.
So there's the S, the SE, and the XSE. I actually have the XSE. So this is the top trim. You can't get this any fancier than what I have this. And the total price with a couple of extra little things they put on, there's a convenience package that's a a tilt and slide moonroof that's like $1,200. Premium audio is $800. They have this two-tone exterior. It's another $500. So with everything, all told, this is $35,999. That does not include the destination. Want to take a guess on destination on this, guys?
Ooh, 13.
$1,395.
$1,450.
Oh,
So Sam wins.
Got it.
So all told, once you add that in, $37,449. So it's not outrageous, definitely not. I mean, for considering that it has a pretty good list of features to it. Like I already said, it has the heated seats. It has a heated steering wheel. It's got heated mirrors to it. There's a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, so it has a nice digital instrument cluster. There's a 10.5-inch infotainment touchscreen, which weirdly does feel a little small, and I was just kind of thinking about that. How big is it? And as I'm looking and it's 10.5, that tells you how big infotainment screens have gotten. Like 10.5 on an infotainment
10.5
screen
used to be considered huge.
was huge, right? And I look at it now and it feels kind of small. But when you have things that are these huge landscape screens and things that are like sort of wrapped right into one display along with that instrument cluster to give them the illusion of being even bigger than they are, suddenly 10.5-inch screen seems small, but it works just fine. For some reason, my Toyota keeps thinking I'm talking at it. It's constantly trying to respond. I'm like, I'm not saying Toyota, stop. But I mean, I like it overall. I feel like it's not an especially inspired car. This is a hybrid. You're paying for that, the hybrid fuel economy. It is EPA rated at 46 city, 39 highway, 42 combined. So you're getting great fuel economy. And if you're commuting a lot and you want a little extra space and you want the convenience of having something that's considered like a crossover, then this is great. I would have to say the back seat is snug. When we had Russ sitting up front, we had to do the careful, like the short person sits behind Russ and the tall person sits behind me. So because if you put tall person behind tall person, you're in trouble. You just don't have that much
That's just a
room.
life lesson.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a life lesson. But I mean, even putting like the shorter person behind Russ, he still had to pull his seat up to a point where I thought if this was a long trip, you would not be comfortable. His knees were just a little too squished. You can fit 3 people in that back seat, but it is tight. It is really snug. I had both my girls back there and the one fiance, and they were all squished back there a little bit. So it's not
Which position
great.
did Reza get? The
Reza's-
behind Russ or behind or behind you or in the middle?
He sits behind me. He sits behind me because when I'm driving, that's the most room. Then Kit and Rose fight who sits behind Russ and who gets to sit in the middle. I think it's like just toss the dice, roll the dice, and see what happens. So
Does seniority win in that case, or
I think whoever's first in the car gets to decide where they plant
Whoever
their
yells
butt.
shotgun.
Yeah, right.
Our shotgun rules.
Shotgun rules
in
apply.
effect.
So
Yeah.
it was totally fine. We've actually had some crummy weather the last couple weeks. We keep getting a couple inches of snow, a couple inches of snow, a couple inches of snow. So the roads have been sort of perpetually messy, sloppy, snowy. It's been great. Haven't had any troubles with it. So it's good in the snow. And it's not like there's like a snow mode on this or anything because I looked. It's normal, eco, and sport, I want to say. So there's no snow mode. So even with
sport in quotation marks.
sport. Yeah, air quote sports. This is a hybrid, a little hybrid, inexpensive hybrid. It's not that I don't like this. It's just not a very exciting car to drive. It's not very engaging. It feels more appliance. Like you're getting something because you want it to do the job that you want it to have fuel efficiency. You need something that's a crossover, and you just want it to do its job, and it does. And also, it's a Toyota, so you'll have it forever. Like you will get tired of this and trade up to something different, and somebody else will still be driving around in your old Toyota
It
Corolla
will
Cross
outlive
Hybrid.
you.
It will outlive you. It will survive everything. Yeah. So you will have this forever. So overall, I mean, I like the features. I like that at this price point, you're still getting cool features like the heated seats and steering wheel and stuff. Those are small things, but they make your car feel a little bit nicer when you have these extra little features. I like that. The only thing I truly didn't like is that it's very loud, that when you accelerate hard, it is slow to accelerate and it is extremely loud. So you hear it enough that I mashed the gas a couple of times on the highway with everyone on board. Everyone did that like, whoa, that doesn't sound good. So
I mean, that is really the classic Toyota hybrid problem.
exactly.
Yeah.
Is that, because of the way the system works, it's extremely efficient,
Mhm.
but it's, the 4-cylinder engines that Toyota uses in their hybrids they don't sound great.
It just doesn't sound
And
good.
when you got to rev it up to 4,000 RPM and just sit there droning,
It's
not a
just
pleasant
sounds
experience.
it sounds awful. And if you need, like, if you're at speed and you're trying to pass slow moving cars, the good news is, like, yeah, it gives you a little bit of, it gives you a little extra juice. You can pass relatively well when you're at speed, so it does well. It's just getting up to speed that it just doesn't sound pleasant. And it's quiet enough. The ride itself is quiet enough on the highway. It's not about there being too much road noise or wind noise. Those are all fine. It's good. You can carry on a conversation with people in the back seat, no problem. It's not intrusive, even when it's snowy and a mess and there's plows going by. It's fine. It's really just that noise when you accelerate. This is a noisy car, and it does not inspire confidence. So that was my negative about it. But overall, for the price, for the features, comfortable, fuel economy is great. You want a little commuter car, this is a good choice.
Just turn the radio up when you're about to
A lot.
accelerate.
Turn it up a lot.
Wear some noise canceling headphones, maybe.
Yeah, right?
Maybe not
Noise
that, but
Noise canceling headphones. You don't hear sirens, you hear nothing.
nothing. Living the dream.
So, would you recommend that someone buy, because you can get the Corolla Cross with just a regular 4-cylinder without the hybrid.
Yeah.
But I think even that one still has a CVT. But and I assume you've driven the non-hybrid Corolla
I have.
Cross.
I think
Would you recommend one over the other?
Okay, it's going to depend on your employees. I'd have to look at the exact fuel economy on the gas, and I don't have the gas fuel economy in front of me. But if is it that much for Sam? I can tell you're looking it up. If you really value the quietness, if you want that a smooth, quiet experience driving, I think I'd probably lean towards the gas, because I think you're going to get a little bit more oomph out of that, and probably not going to notice this droniness quite so much. But you are going to take that sacrifice in fuel economy. So if that's your priority, if your priority is that you want to get every single ounce of value you can when you're driving, and that you're not paying for gas, and if you're someplace like California where gas is stupid expensive, then go with the hybrid. But if that's not the be all end all, if that's not, did you look it up, Sam? I thought I saw you
did.
typing.
Yeah. So
what's the fuel economy on
the Corolla Cross Hybrid is rated at 42 miles per gallon combined, and that's all-wheel drive only.
Yeah.
The front-wheel drive Corolla Cross is rated at 32 combined.
That's a pretty big drop.
And let me find
That's a pretty big drop.
the Corolla Cross all-wheel drive.
Oh my God, I bet that's even worse, right?
So the all-wheel drive gas Corolla Cross is 30 miles per gallon combined. So
So that's a pretty
it's a
significant
notable
drop.
difference.
That's a significant drop. So
Yeah.
so that would be my thing. If you really don't care about the fuel economy that much, go ahead and get the gas. Otherwise, that's a good bit of difference if you have a long commute. If you're driving 20 miles to work, no big deal. If you're driving an hour to work each way, or an hour and a half or something like that, that hybrid's going to save you a lot of money, and it's probably going to be worth it to get the hybrid and find a good playlist on Spotify or something, But I wouldn't recommend not getting this if you're getting it for the reasons that one gets a hybrid, which is generally the fuel economy.
And the the noise problem with the Toyota hybrids is really it's really mostly just a problem when you're accelerating hard.
Mm-hmm.
When you're just driving, just normal driving, it's
fine.
not bad. It's fine.
Yeah, if you're just cruising at highway speeds, totally fine. Road and wind noise are good, and you don't have that intrusive whine from the CVT. The engine doesn't intrude. It's fine. It's really just when you accelerate. So your playlist just needs to play when you're getting on the highway. That's really it. But it is one of those things you notice. Like
you need an audio system that is specifically tied to your throttle position. So
Right.
as you accelerate, you want to, or
The
rather,
audio to go
up.
you want the audio system to get louder for momentarily.
So what? So I think I said it has an audio upgrade. It's a JBL Premium Audio, which is a 9-speaker with a subwoofer and an amp. It's $800. Spring for that.
Yeah.
So you have a better audio system to cover the sound when you accelerate. That $800 is worth it.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Anything else on the Corolla Cross?
No, that's it on Yieldy Corolla Cross.
Yeah, the it's next week. I'll be talking about the Honda HR-V, which is kind of like Honda's most direct competitor to the Corolla Cross.
The HERV.
And that one, for whatever reason, Honda does not offer that one with a hybrid system yet. So be interesting to see that one, see how that compares. All right. And Robbie, you had nothing to review this week, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't have anything. I'm trying to think. I'm like, no, I didn't have nothing.
All right.
He's like,
Well, I had the Lexus Texas plug-in hybrid,
the Lexus
Texas.
which is the official name, of course, is for this particular variant is the Lexus TX 550H Plus all-wheel drive. So the TX is the Lexus variant of the Toyota Grand Highlander. So it's their larger 3-row crossover. So that means that it's a little bit longer than the Highlander. Actually has enough. It's got enough extra length that the third row is actually usable by people with legs. It's it was quite a pleasant drive. The TX plug-in has the same basic hybrid architecture as the Corolla Cross, but it has, instead of a little 4-cylinder engine, it has a 3.5 liter 3.5 liter V6. So there's 3 different powertrain options in the TX. You can get a 2.4 liter gas 4-cylinder, turbocharged 4-cylinder gas engine. You can get that same engine with the Toyota hybrid system, which is the same hybrid system that's in the Corolla Cross, but with slightly more power. Or you can get the plug-in hybrid with the V6, which also has an 18.1 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, a little more electric motor power, and that gets you a grand total of 301 horsepower. And for reasons that have never quite made sense to me, Toyota does not list a total max torque for its hybrids. They only list the total max power, but not a torque value. But they do list, in the case of the TX, they list the torque for the motors by themselves. So in the case of the TX 550, you get 199 pound-feet from the front motor, and because this is all-wheel drive, it's an electric rear drive system. So there's no drive shaft that runs down the back to the rear axle, and you get 124 pound-feet of torque from the rear. It's rated EPA rating for the plug-in hybrid is 33 miles of electric range. It's been kind of cold here, mostly just above freezing, which means that it's been miserable and raining all day today and good part of yesterday and good part of the day before. So there's no snow on the ground, but it's cold enough. When I had it plugged in and took it out to do my usual drive loop to measure the electric driving range, like I said, the label value is 33 miles. I got 27 miles before the battery ran out and it pulled on the engine. So, had the heater running, so that's going to drain it a little bit more, a little bit faster. In warmer weather, you can probably get close to that 33 miles. Usually in the past, with most of the Toyota plugins, particularly the RAV4 and the Prius, I have beat or exceeded the label value for the electric driving range. So I think you probably could at least match, if not exceed, that 33 miles. So that puts it a little bit less than what you get, for example, from a Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid, which is a similarly sized vehicle. The XC90's got about 140 more horsepower, so quite a bit more power. But in electric mode, the TX has got a little bit more electric power than the Volvo, because the Volvo only has electric drive on the rear axle. So it's got about 145 horsepower from the electric motor on the rear. In the case of the TX, you've got combined total of about 210 horsepower from the front and rear motors. So if you plug it in, you can fairly easily, without really trying to baby it or anything, you can drive it around in electric only mode pretty easily. Even in cold weather. You're just not going to go quite as far in cold weather, but you can use it as a daily driver in electric mode. You're not going to get the full performance, the 300 horsepower that you would get if the engine came on. But 210ish, 220 horsepower, that's enough that you can do, it's more than adequate for your daily driving, even for such a large vehicle, because you got plenty of torque as well. So the TX, the one that I had was finished in let's see, what do they call this color? It is Matador Red Mica, which is very bright red, which is not a color you would typically expect to see on something like a big Lexus 3-row crossover, but it works. I liked it a lot. The design, starting with the TX, really, Toyota or Lexus really started toning down the look of the spindle grille. So you still have kind of the trapezoid shape for the lower portion of it, but most of it is body color. You have like 4 slots with some trim in those slots. So you can still see a bit of that spindle grille look in there, but it's much more toned down than compared to, like, if you look at a Lexus LX, the Lexus Land Cruiser version, that is much more in your face. It's a fairly tame design overall, but really nice interior, very comfortable seats, much larger screen. I think it's a 14-inch center touch screen. You've got knobs to control the temperature and volume. So you got the dual zone climate control in the front, with a couple of knobs with the display in the middle, so you can see that each front passenger can see their individual temperatures. You've got temperature control, a third zone for the second row seats. The third row seats, like I said, adults can sit back there. You probably don't want to take a cross-country road trip, but you'll be fine. If you got 3 couples going out to dinner or something like that, you'll absolutely be fine sitting back in that third row. There's enough headroom. There's enough leg room back there. You probably don't want like 3 Robbies sitting behind each other, but maybe 1 or 2 Robbies, and then maybe a 5'10", 5'9" person would still be comfortable. And
3/4 of a Robbie.
Yeah.
3/4 Robbie.
7/8
7/8 Robbie.
Yeah. So I genuinely thought for a premium 3-row crossover, this works really well. It's not quite as expensive as the aforementioned Volvo. So it's not cheap by any stretch. It's definitely quite a bit more than what you would pay for a Grand Highlander. The grand total came to $84,795. Guesses on the destination charge?
$14.95.
$14.95. $15.95.
Nicole gets it. It was $14.50.
Woo!
Oh,
Oh, was it?
I should have said
Yeah.
14. I should have said $1. No, wait, we don't do that
No.
anymore.
Yeah, it still would have been Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you said $1,400, Nicole still would have got it because she would have been off by only $45. So,
Yeah.
not a whole lot of options on the plug-in hybrid. There's just a couple of packages available. The big one is the technology package, which includes the heads-up display and a few other items. There's a wireless charging pad up in the front, at the front of the center the front of the center console. You've got movable cup holders that you can take them out. You can actually remove them if you need to put in a very large big gulp, a mega big gulp or something like that. What else? One of the features that I do like that they have on Lexus and some Toyota models is the front cross traffic alert. So when you're at an intersection, it uses the cameras and front corner radars to detect vehicles coming from either side, and it'll give you alerts both in the instrument cluster and a heads-up display if you have that. So that's a nice feature to have. It's just a genuinely very nice, not wild looking, but very nice 3-row premium crossover. So if you want something that's a little more than a Grand Highlander in terms of design and features, this is definitely one to consider.
Very cool. I
Yeah.
just want to. I think calling it the Lexus Texas makes it fun. Maybe
Yeah.
that
Lexus
should be my
Texas.
car. A Lexus Texas.
Well, I mean, Toyota and Lexus are based in Texas, they're North American operations. They're based in Plano, so yeah, why not? And I'm sure that only had a little bit to do with their naming decision for the TX. All right.
Your business is one of a kind, so your website should be too. With Wix, it's easy, almost too easy, to create a website that's perfectly yours. Just tell AI what kind of site you want to build or choose from thousands of templates. Change whatever you want, whenever you want, and get everything you need to start running your business your way. No matter what you sell or what you aspire to be, you can do it all yourself on Wix.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it, and guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know you can support Wheel Bearings directly? Head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia and you can become a patron today. Your contributions will help fund the platforms and tools we use to bring the podcast to you. And exclusives and improvements are already on the way thanks to your generosity. So if you want to be part of an automotive podcast like no other, head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia. We've updated the Wheel Bearings merch store, and now there's a whole bunch of new choices, new colors, new styles, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, travel mugs, stickers, aprons, tote bags, you name it. You can get your Wheel Bearings merch at shop.wheelbearings.media. Go check it out. That's shop.wheelbearings.media. Let's move on. Let's see. So it's what is it? It's the 28th of December as we're recording this. So it's the end of 2025. So you get the usual, looking back, looking forward, articles all over the place. And before we get into a little discussion of, a little looking back at 2025, I found an article on InsideEVs the other day about the EVs that they are most looking forward to in 2026, the new EVs. And there are, despite everything that's going on, there are still a number of new EVs. There's about 30 or so that are scheduled to launch in 2026. Having a hard time saying that one. So, Inside EVs picked out their the 7 that let's see who wrote this one. This is Matt Hogan. Picked out the 7 that he's most excited about for the new year. And so let's see, he's got the Rivian R2, the Honda 0 Series, which also includes the Acura RSX, the Slate, the Kia EV3, which actually I think at this point may not actually be coming. I'm not sure
I thought that wasn't coming here for some reason.
Yeah,
Good job,
I know
Matt.
they put off the EV4, and I think they've also paused the EV3 as well, which is unfortunate.
Good job, Mac. You want to text him, tell him he's wrong?
Well, I mean, he might have written this a few weeks ago, and ahead. A lot of times
Maybe
these
it
stories,
is.
these holiday stories, you write them in advance and put them in the queue, so you can take some time off.
No, I'll text him and tell him he's wrong.
It does actually. As I'm googling, it's still saying it's coming to the U.S. So
I'll have to check with James.
So I'm not. Yeah, everything I'm seeing says it is still coming, unless they've changed that, which, we'll see.
Yeah. There's the BMW iX3, the new Chevy Bolt, the midsize Lucid EV, and then under honorable mentions, he's got the new Mercedes CLA, and also the Mercedes AMG GT XX. So, is there anything on here? Anything that you think is missing from this list that should be included that either of you two are looking forward to for 2026?
Not
forward
that's missing.
Oh, you know what I'm kind of interested to see is the Recon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite your recent history with Jeep?
Still interested. I didn't say I want to buy it. I said I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
I think that could be interesting. I'm curious how that's going to play with the removable doors and stuff. Like, is it going to feel like an EV Wrangler? What's it going to feel like? So I am curious about that one.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how that one actually does off-road.
Yeah, that's going to be key. They implied that it's going to do it when they did their, where was it, LA, their big thing.
Yeah.
It sort of was, no, this is going to be an off-road vehicle. They had all these different areas waiting that it does and all these different things. So I don't know. I'm curious about that one. I would put that on the list.
What about you, Robbie?
No, I mean, I don't think there's anything missing that's that I think should be on here, to be honest. I drove the CLA EV. I forgot to tell you guys.
Yeah.
So I did drive a car. But I
Are
always
you allowed to talk about that one?
I am allowed. I'm double checking. But yes, it looks like I am allowed to talk about
Can
this
I
one.
speak about this or am I
But
in
yeah,
trouble?
no, I think it's really nice. It's better than the hybrid. So if you're getting one or the other, just get the EV. Just that's it. Just get the EV. It's the better car. They look exactly the same except for like the grill and the diffuser, because you don't need exhaust pipes for an EV. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'm looking. I mean, the R2. I think a lot of people I know are really waiting for the R3. And then a lot of people I know are really excited about the Slate. So those are sort of the two sort of normie excitement. But these, again, excitement doesn't equal auto sales.
Correct.
So we'll see. We'll see. The thing with the Slate is that not every automotive journalist is in on it. They're like, nah, I don't think so. So it might do well. Like if we were all super into it, it would. Oh fail.
Yeah, that would definitely be a disaster.
It would fail. So it seems pretty polarizing. There's the people who like the idea, like it. The other people are like, well, I don't think so. I mean, it should have 4 doors, and a lot of things that they keep adding to it. I'm like, well, now you're talking about a $40,000 truck. Now you're sort of. That's not the same truck.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The things you're adding to this make this a more expensive truck, and then it's just a Maverick. Now you just built a Maverick. Good job.
You just built a Maverick. You built another truck. Good job.
Yeah. So I think I think the CLA EV is really, really nice. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I think the Bolt coming back is great if they can do the correct job. When's the Ford thing? Like 28 or something? 27?
No, production should be launching in Q4, and then it'll go on sale at beginning of 2027 is the plan. Although,
well,
the
Ford plan is like the Tesla plan at this point. You're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Jim. Thumbs up, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's, in order to build those, they have to be building the LFP batteries at their battery plant in Marshall, Michigan. And I've been hearing there's some challenges there. That equipment coming in with either no documentation or the wrong documentation, and so the engineers are having to go through everything, trying to figure out how to set everything up. And
are they buying everything on Temu? What's going on?
Kind of, yeah. It's all.
There's just no. Every time I think about Ford, I think the lack of the inability to just focus and do the thing you say you're going to do. Just do the thing. I'm going to do a thing. Do the thing. Don't like, I'm going to do a thing. I don't know. And you kind of half-ass it. And you're, and then we get a car that's not great. Or it comes out late. Or it's, no one quite knows what it is because no one's on the same page at the company. Just do the thing. Stop buying things from Temu.
Robbie's advice: don't buy car parts from Temu. Don't do it.
Or manufacturing equipment, especially not manufacturing equipment.
Yeah, don't outfit your new
battery
factory.
Yeah, don't buy your battery manufacturing equipment from Temu.
No.
Or Shein.
Because it has that thing that spins around when you go to buy it, and it gives you. I've never bought anything from Temu. I always look at things and they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Because I don't want things that break. There's like if I can just go to Harbor Freight.
I was just going to say that. If you want tools that are going to break, just go to Harbor Freight. You don't need to
buy
go
like
all the way to
zip
China.
ties and roller things. I buy like a lot of like little weird things, but I don't buy tools from Harbor Freight. I don't want a socket to bust.
You definitely don't want to get your jack stands from Harbor
I do not.
Freight.
Oh God.
Oh God, I do not want to get my. Yeah. That's not a. That was
That'd be a bad
terrifying.
call.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
All right.
R2 slate, and then.
Okay, so let's look back at 2025. Let's start with what was of all the stuff you drove this year, what was the biggest surprise?
Man.
What surprised you in a good way?
The biggest surprise?
Oh,
Biggest
the
surprise.
GLC on the sand. That was
Yeah?
bonkers. Yeah. In the sand dunes? When we got there was a Chevy product. That was an SUV that was like kind of near the sand dunes, and it got stuck. And so they had to send a CLA out to get it out of the sand dunes. So driving an electric mid-size luxury EV on sand dunes and being like, yeah, no problem. That was like the biggest surprise, because it does it make sense? No. Is anyone else going to do it? No. But if you're a person who's like, well, I want to get a CLA and it kind of snows here sometimes, or it's rainy, you're going to see videos of me doing donuts in the sand, and you're going to be like, well, yeah, if he can do that, it'll be fine.
Yeah, if Robbie can do it, anybody can do
If
it.
I can do it,
Uh-oh. Did we lose Robbie?
No, he's still there. He just froze momentarily.
Oh, okay.
I had to mute my mic so I could blow my nose. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What about you, Nicole? What was your biggest surprise of the
I'm
year?
really trying to think. It's funny. I'm literally looking back. What did I drive last year?
I know it's hard when we drive so much stuff.
Right? You kind of have to look back and go, wait, what really surprised me? I don't know that there was a car that especially surprised me in 25 in a good way. I feel like yeah, right. That's not, but like,
I had one really bad surprise.
I feel like generally speaking, the cars that I drove this year very much met my expectations, but didn't surprise me by exceeding my expectations necessarily. I'm literally, I'm like trying to think of, I'm truly looking at a list as we're talking, like, what did I drive this past year? And I don't know that there's anything that really surprised me. I'm looking. What about you, Sam?
For me, I would say the biggest and best surprise was the 2026 Subaru Solterra and Toyota BZ.
That's fair.
After just 2 years on the market, they fundamentally re-engineered those vehicles. They don't look dramatically different. Although, depending on which trim you get, if it's got the body color fenders, it actually does look surprisingly different. But just the driving experience, everything about it, the range, the performance, the charging, the interior, that was a huge improvement to those vehicles. And they're priced more competitively than when they launched. They drive a lot better. Everything about them is fundamentally better, and I'm actually quite looking forward to driving the wagon version in February with the BZ Woodland, and to see how that is. But that's probably the biggest and best surprise to me of 2025.
So I'm looking now. I found another list of cars. I'm like, where are the rest of the cars I've driven? I think I had 2 surprises. Can I have 2 now that I can remember what the heck I drove?
No.
So my 2 surprises would be the first one would be the Honda Passport, because we took it off road. Like, we really
that's a really good
took
one.
it off road. Like, it wasn't just dirt. Like, we did some challenging stuff in that thing, and it was really good. Like, it was impressive. It was definitely the kind of drive where you would have thought, you wouldn't think a Honda would do it, honestly. It did some really technical stuff. So I was really pleasantly surprised by just how capable the Trail Sport version, the Trail Sport, right? I have the right term in my head. The Trail Sport was. That was the one we took off-road. And it is genuinely an off-road capable vehicle. You can do some stuff in that thing. The other one that surprised me for totally different reasons was the Nissan Leaf, because the old Leaf was just sort of fine, and it was an also-ran, and it had been around for so long. It was so early in when they introduced vehicles. Then people kind of forgot about it, and it was like nobody really paid attention. The new Leaf is really good. Like, it's really, really good. It's a nice car. It's a attractive car. The numbers are all great for it. It was fun to drive. So those 2 probably. The Leaf, because I actually did not expect that to improve as much as it did. And the Passport Trail Sport, because I did not expect it to be as off-road capable as it actually was. There, I did find something once I found what I'd driven. There we go.
Awesome.
Bam.
All right. What about biggest disappointments of the year?
I mean, I'm just going to say Ford.
The whole company?
I just don't know. What are they doing? And I don't think they know what they're doing at some point. I mean, it's a company they are fortunate that they have the F-Series, because if they didn't, they'd be in big trouble. And they have the Bronco. And then everything else just feels like... And I don't think that they kind of have focus on what they're doing outside of that. I mean, they have the Bronco. The Bronco's a big launch. It's a big deal for them. Good for them. I still see them around. I still like, oh, cool, Bronco. The F-Series is still the F-Series. But outside of that, I mean, they put out an EV. They put out another EV. And then they just sort of like stagnated, while others who seem to have some sort of focus in the company are moving forward. I mean, we're doing 800 volt, we're doing this, we're moving to the next. Everyone else is evolving, and Ford seems to be devolving in this in what is going on. And again, they have F-Series money, so they can kind of do whatever they want. They could coast off that for decades. But I mean, that, writing off, was it 19 billion or some ridiculous amount of money, half of a Twitter.
Half of a Twitter. It was 19 billion, 19.7 billion, right?
19.5.
Yeah.
And that I really think that's all down to just a lack of commitment in what you're doing as a company. And I mean, again, the F-Series, the F-150 Lightning, for most people, the best F-150 you can buy, but also sort of a misstep because you're, as a company, you're looking at Tesla with the Cybertruck, which obviously was also a misstep by that company, and thinking, oh, we should also do a big truck. And, automakers are like everyone else. You see somebody doing something, like, oh, we should do that too. Oh, we should do that too. That's all we got. Also, AI in cars. Let's stop. Those are my big disappointments. Just stop putting the word AI or the term AI on everything and saying it's AI. Just stop. I use, what do I use? What's that thing called? Grammarly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Used it for like ever. It'll catch, typically it'll catch, oh, you forgot to put a comma here. You misspelled a word there. All right, fine. And now it's like, oh, now powered by AI. It's gotten worse. Since they had but also it does the same thing. Like, Concord, the thing that I do my expenses with, it's like, oh, it's going to read Concur. There you go. Oh, it's going to read your receipts using AI. It read my receipts 5 years ago. Didn't have the word AI in it. I don't know. What are we doing? Stop it. Those are my disappointments. Ford's lack of focus, AI.
Ford's lack of focus. Okay. What about you,
Do we
Sam?
even need to guess what your biggest disappointment
I don't
is?
think we need to. My biggest disappointment is I bought a car that would not go. There we go. My Wagoneer S. That really was my big disappointment because I love that stupid thing. I kept the license plates. They're sitting in my garage. But yeah, taking a gamble on an EV from a car company that has questionable reliability. Jeep, right?
Yeah,
So, and I took a
it's
gamble
Jeep.
on it. And I thought, let's take a gamble. And I rolled snake eyes. Snake eyes. That was my biggest disappointment this year. But now next year I'll have the fun of picking something new. So,
Well, my biggest disappointment was, I guess, kind of Lincoln as a brand. But particularly
they were doing
the
so
Navigator.
well.
I know.
It was like a good couple of years where like Lincoln's killing it, and then they're like, eh.
Yeah, and then they brought out the Nautilus last year, and then the Navigator this year, and there's still a lot to like about those vehicles, but there's just this thing that they did with the big full width screen and putting too much stuff in the touch interface and having that stuff controlled by a nearly vertical touchscreen that is down low at the front of the center stack. It's just they completely broke the interface in that car and made it so I just don't want to drive it anymore.
It makes me angry getting in that car. My in-laws bought a Lincoln. They're like, oh, we're going to get a Lincoln. I was like, oh, no. They're like, oh, 2021. I'm like, oh, no, you're cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're getting one of the good ones. All right, cool. Yeah, you're golden.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually got angry getting in that car. I'm like, what is this? Why is this way down here? What is happening? Why does Lincoln hate its customers? And I don't know what the demographics are for Lincoln. I'm assuming a little bit older. And when you have a little bit older of a, don't do that to them. Come on.
Yeah.
They just want a car. I want to go from here to here. I don't want to, learn all this weird stuff. And I definitely don't want to look down to do things.
Ugh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Yeah. Any other highlights or lowlights of the year, automotively speaking?
Automotively.
Because there's so many other things that we probably shouldn't.
One
be
could
delving
complain
into
about
here.
if they chose to. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I am cautiously optimistic about the Ford Skunk Works because it's outside of the sort of Ford. Ford and GM are giant behemoths of machines, and there's, I think everyone sort of knows that there's always conflict inside of those big companies. You're doing this, I'm doing this. I'm not going to share this with this, and it's sort of a, I don't know why that's an issue, but sure, whatever. But I do hope that Ford can sort of get it together with this new universal platform, even though it's not going to be in Europe, which is part of the universe.
Well, really,
last time I checked,
the United States is the universe, is it not?
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
So-
does any other country even matter?
Not really.
Nah.
I mean, Japan matters, and Germany, and Austria is really pretty. Oh, man, that's a pretty place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ford has said all of the right things with the universal EV platform. What they say they're going to do, and what they've talked about, from a technology standpoint, it's the right stuff, but they have had a little bit of a problem with execution.
I just want them. I hope this is like the reset. They're like, you know what? We've all had a bad time in our life where we're just like sort of half-assing things, and we're just like, we're just exhausted and tired. And then we're like, I'm just gonna reset and start doing my life better. I hope this is their reset and they start doing their life better, and it lasts longer than 2 weeks. Better. I hope it's not like I hope it's like a New Year's resolution. Or like, I'm gonna stop eating fatty foods and carbohydrates and start going to the gym. And then week 3, you're at Pizza Hut. So I hope this isn't like a resolution thing.
Pizza Hut.
We're week 3. They're down in an all meat extravaganza pizza with a stuffed crust. I hope they're still drinking the smoothies and doing the gym stuff and doing the thing that they should do. So fingers crossed.
I hope so.
Cautiously optimistic.
And anything else for you, Nicole?
No, not for me.
Just hope your next car purchase works out a little better.
Samesies. Just hope my next car purchase. Yeah. I just want my next car purchase to work out.
I just want my car to go rolly.
I just want it to roll. Go. I just want it to go.
When you press the start button and step on the accelerator, you want it to actually do something?
I would like it to go forward. Yeah. Go
or
forward.
Reverse. I mean, depending on whatever you select.
Well, generally forward if I'm picking forward. Let's have it go the direction I'm actually putting the transmission in. That was a concern for a time. So, yeah.
All right.
Oh, cars.
So cars.
So complicated.
Oh, they're such technical creatures.
Just so complicated.
Software's hard.
Software's hard.
Hardware's hard. It's all too complicated.
Engineering
if we
so
think
difficult.
remember the old like Cadillacs and Lincolns with their weird electronics and everything? They would break within like 6 months of you buying the car, like in the 80s and 90s. And everyone would be like, well, you don't buy the cars with that stuff because that stuff just breaks. I feel like sometimes
power windows. Remember everyone was like power windows would always break, right?
Now cars are just all like the whole car is that stuff.
The whole car breaks.
Yeah, the whole
I take a
car
broken power window any day.
I get that's why I'm very pro Slate, because I'm just like I know this stuff is going to come, but some companies are having a lot of trouble. Especially again, like you said, software. I mean, Volkswagen's giving Rivian billions of dollars because they're just throwing their hands in the air like, we don't know.
we can't do it. We tried several times. We reorganized. We fired everybody. We hired new people. We fired them. We hired more new people. And we still can't do it. We don't know.
You know what? Here's a bunch of money. Can you
Here,
guys
RJ, you do it.
Here, all right. Can you make like your little bear Bigfoot monster on our car, please?
Just make it look like our car, but your stuff underneath. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
So it is the end of December. Weather's cold. A lot of parts of the country. I think in New York this weekend, in the Northeast, they're supposed to be getting big snowstorms coming through. And we have frequently talked about the benefits of using winter tires. If you live in those kinds of environments. I actually have a car in the driveway right now that is equipped with winter tires. They're great. Got a Subaru WRX TS. We'll talk about next week. That
on
came with winter tires.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it was great when I took it out yesterday. There's no snow on the ground, but it's the temperatures.
It's
around
ready.
Freezing.
Yeah, so you still want the winter tires for that.
Yeah, because when tires get below 40, when the temperatures get below 40 degrees, most tires get very hard and they lose their grip. And winter tires are specifically formulated. The rubber is specifically formulated to stay pliable at low temperatures. So you still have some grip. And there's a bunch of other things they do on winter tires, like the tread design and everything else as well. But the big thing is, one of the big things is the rubber compound. But not everybody can necessarily make the case for having a whole second set of tires for their car. And, there's inconvenience involved with swapping your tires out in and out a couple times a year. So Consumer Reports published an article on the best all-season tires for winter driving. Because that's the reality. As much as we push for winter tires, most people are going to use all-season tires on most of their vehicles. And so there's a bunch of good stuff in this article. One of the things they talk about is, when do you replace your tires? For most normal driving, when your tread depth, so the depth of the grooves in the tread, usually when that gets down to 2/32 of an inch, that's, you absolutely need to replace your tires at that point. But if you're going to be doing a lot of winter driving, they recommend you double that to 4/32, which is 1/8 of an inch tread depth, because you need to have that extra tread depth to move the snow, to get a grip. And so they picked based on their testing, they picked 3 different sets of tires for different categories, or 3 different tires for different categories of vehicles. So for the basic all-season tire for mainstream cars, what they picked was the Nokian Tires Remedy WRG5, which, according to Consumer Reports, gives great snow traction, better than average hydroplaning and ice braking traction. So those are all really important. And then they picked a best all-season tire for SUVs, the Michelin Cross Climate 2. And this one, according to them, does really well for snow traction and for ice braking, and also does well in hydroplaning, so when you get deep water. And then for trucks, they picked the Continental Terrain Contact HT, also very good snow traction, decent hydroplaning, and good ice braking. And finally, for an ultra high performance all season tire, they picked the Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06. That one, not as good in any of those categories as the other all season tires, but it's tuned more for performance. So depending on the type of vehicle you've got, if you want an all season tire that's going to give you better performance on dry pavement than some of the others, this Conti is a good tire. Any thoughts on this? I mean, you guys, well, Robbie, you probably don't have winter tires on any of your cars, but
I got high performance all seasons though. We get a lot of rain. I drive a BRZ. I have the Bridgestone Potenza all seasons, and they're like, I was looking at their little grid, and they're like pretty. They're like in the middle, but they're so good compared to like what used to be. So I was like, well, I should get these Contis.
yeah.
And they have some that are higher up on the rating, but I think they're just really expensive. So they have the Contis, but like above it is the Michelin Pilot all seasons. They're like $30 more or $25 more. Even with my, hold on, let me scroll all the way down to my Bridgestone, which are, so let's the Contis are 71. That's their little overall score. And the wheels I'm driving on, 57. But they're so good. I was like, all right. So they could be like 25 better. So I mean, if you're thinking, if you're still looking like old, especially for performance, like old sort of tire, like the latest like all season performance tires are really, really good. I'm going around in rain. I'm trying to break free. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Because I think like, especially if you're driving anything like that, I've seen people with like summer tires, and I saw someone, they had a brand new BRZ. It was last year. It was raining. There's a left turn near my house,
Oof.
you know, the light, and the person went around the corner and they overcooked it just a little bit, and they went up on the median. It's like a curb median, so it's like,
Yikes.
you know, 3 or 4 feet wide, and you know, however tall a curb is, a couple inches, and they had spun it around, and it was high centered on the median.
Oof.
Yeah.
And the person in the car was just crying. I was just
like you would.
because it's, you know, it's a manual transmission. It's a, you know, rear wheel drive vehicle. They like, oh, this thing's great in the summer, and then they decide that, you know, they didn't switch out those tires for when it rains here, and when it rains, it's like, oh, everything's flooded. And you know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm any place that's really winter, I still would rather have a winter tire. But if you're in that in between time, you know, someplace where it's like you still need something with a little extra. There are really good all season tires out there, and that's the thing. Like that winter is so specialized. You do have to spring for an extra set of tires, and although it's you know, in the end, you're not, you know, you're getting twice the tire life. You've got 2 sets of tires. You know, they all last longer, but still you gotta have some place to store those tires. You have to pay to have them swapped out every season. The time to do it. Like there is a commitment to having winter tires on your vehicle. And if you're not somewhere that truly has, you know, you're not worrying about all the aspects of winter weather. It's really just like Robbie was saying, when it's rainy, when it's slick, when it's a little colder. There are some really good all season tires out there for
yeah,
those people who are in the in between. I feel like winter tires, you got to have some, like you know, when you're in some place where winter tires are what you need. Like you
yeah.
know if you live someplace wintry or not.
I've done
You're-
all seasons on a WRX up to Tahoe, where the snow
Yeah.
here is apparently slicker than other places, according to people who lived other places. I'm like, I don't know. This is the only snow I've ever known. And I haven't had issues, but also, you know, I
Right.
grew up in the snow, and then, so I know a little bit better, you know, I'm a little bit smarter
It's
about driving, but the all seasons, you know, occasional snow. I had someone who was like, you should get studs. I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
oh my gosh.
You're a drunk person. What's happening?
You're
This
a
person
drunk
made a lot of
person.
money. They made way more money than I did.
I mean, you know, if you live somewhere like, you know, Montana or, you know, Wyoming, you know, up in the mountains, you know, or the Dakotas, or, you know, maybe northern Minnesota, yeah, maybe you want to get studded tires, you know, or, you know, northern Sweden, you definitely want,
Yeah.
you know, or northern Canada, you definitely want studded tires. But you know, in most places, it's not even legal to use studded tires, especially on pavement, on dry pavement. So you know, that's definitely problematic. And when we were doing Operation Frodo the other week, you know, there were sections along I-80 where, you know, there were signs, you know, or, you know, tire change out points, you know, and they had areas where vehicles could pull over. And when, you know, in these sections, you know, they have signs, you know, depending on the weather conditions, you know, they will turn on the signs, you know, say, yeah, put on tire chains now. And, you know, legally you're supposed to put on chains. And so they have areas where you can pull on to put the chains on, pull off, you know, and then also, you know, to take them off. You know, and, you know, those are definitely much more limited use. But, you know, I've had winter tires on some of my cars in the past, and they're great. But, you know, given the, you know, as things have changed over the years, I mean, certainly all season tires have gotten a lot better than they were 30 or 40 years ago, or even 20 years ago. And, you know, I haven't had winter tires on any of my vehicles for at least the last 20 years. Although our daughter, when she had a Toyota 86, you know, she had a set of winter tires that I'd put on and off for her and store her summer tires in her garage. But yeah, it depends on what you're driving and where you're driving and how much, you know, winter weather you're actually getting. But yeah, if you go to there'll be a link in the show notes to this article, and there's a whole tire selector. There's a link within the article to the tire selector, and they've got all of the tire ratings, and Consumer Reports, you know, tests all of these tires. So everything that they've got rated here, they've actually tested in various conditions. So it's definitely worth a look. If you're, and they've got not just the winter and all season tires, but they've got all the different categories of tires in here. So if you're shopping for tires, this is definitely someplace you probably want to take a look. This and on Tire Rack at their tire ratings as well.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. So there's been a lot of supercars built over the years. And some of these cars cost millions of dollars, but they sometimes when you're building very low volumes of cars, especially if you're a smaller manufacturer that does nothing but build supercars, it costs money to design a lot of the various small bits and pieces that you need to have on a vehicle, but that don't necessarily aren't necessarily going to be obvious to the consumer. And so a lot of times, companies will use parts from more pedestrian vehicles to instead of designing their own custom components for every single little bit. Like back in the beginning of my engineering career, when I was working for Delco, which was then part of GM, working on the Lotus Elan and Lotus Esprit ABS systems, I got to spend a lot of time in those two cars. And, they had, at that time, quite a few parts from other GM vehicles. This airbag in this very expensive Lotus Esprit looks exactly the same as the one from that Firebird over there. So, it's not uncommon to use parts from other vehicles. And Jalomnik's got an interesting sort of listicle. These supercars save money using parts from boring everyday cars. And you guys had a chance to take a look through this?
It is funny, like the different bits and pieces that they've I like how they talk about the Jaguar's world-beating supercar borrows parts from just about everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like the entire car was a collection of spare parts. It's like, and when you look at the list, a little bit of Citroën, a little bit of Aston Martin, there's a little bit of everything in here.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean that Esprit, the transmission in that came from Renault. It was used in a bunch of Renault vehicles, and you had to be careful with it because of that, because it was very easy to break.
It's funny because there's this perception that if it's a supercar, right? You've got all
Mhm.
these beautiful, stunning components, especially there's a Pagani on that list. Like, oh my gosh, the inside of that thing, right? This is so cool. Everything is so custom. Well, not everything.
Yeah.
Underneath
the
there.
car would be like $15 million.
Right? Can you imagine if all those parts, like the parts they didn't borrow from other cars, like if they made everything as unique and one-off-ish as the stuff that you see? Oh my gosh.
Faraday did a walk through their headquarters in Torrance years and years and years ago. And they kept saying, oh, we're building this, we're building that, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I'm just like turning to people, I'm like, did these people not know how to build a car? Like, you don't do that. You get suppliers to build all these things, or you buy it from a parts man. This
You
car is
don't
going to
do
be like
that.
$350,000. And then recently, I'm like, how much is the Faraday? $350,000.
Yeah. Well, the Lamborghini Diablo is another good example. When the Diablo first came out in the early 90s, it originally had pop-up headlights. And then sometime in around 96, 97, they did a mid-cycle update of the Diablo, and they replaced it with fixed headlights. And when you look at it, if like me, you're old enough to have been around during that time period, it's like those headlights look vaguely familiar. And then when you look at them, you realize they used the headlights from the Nissan 300ZX, the early 90s 300ZX.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, yeah. And the McLaren F1, the taillights came from a bus.
I mean, if it works, like we need
Yeah.
taillights so they're this size and this guy. Like, hold on. Let me jump into the parts bin supercomputer. Hey, there's a bus.
I mean, they're just basic round taillights. So they're nothing. There's nothing fancy about the design. So they just used one from a bus.
Makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, these things, like, they don't, it seems so bizarre, but why not? They make it work. It all still works in the context of what you're seeing and everything,
Yeah.
So.
Plus, you can order them from the bus company.
Exactly.
How much is this light? Oh, it's going to be $40,000, and you go on the bus company's website and find it for $10. Done.
Which given some of the other things you have to do with an F1, if you own an F1, the electronics in an F1, if they ever had to do any servicing on the electronics, that stuff was all programmed using a compact laptop. Most people probably don't even remember the brand Compaq. They made computers.
Oh wow, yeah.
They used a compact laptop to program the electronics in the F1, and basically no modern computer is compatible with it. So the McLaren they buy these laptops from like eBay and other places. They have an inventory of these laptops just sitting around so that they can use them. So if a customer, I mean, there were only 106 F1s ever built, but if a customer needs service on their vehicle, a technician can grab one of these laptops and go out, or they send the vehicle back to the UK, and they use these. They use these 30 plus year old laptops to communicate with the electronics in the F1, which is going to be just think about what that's going to be like 30 years from now with the software defined vehicles that are coming out now. Will the tools still exist to do any service on these things? Probably not.
You got to keep that around.
Yep. All right. Let's see. We had there was another one here from Jalopnik. Where'd it go? Oh, used cars that you shouldn't buy. So rather than specific models, they had categories of 7 cheap used cars that aren't worth the trouble. And there's this old saying about buying certain kinds of cheap cars. It's the most expensive cheap car that you'll ever own. Because the car may be cheap to buy, but actually fixing it or keeping it running can be extraordinarily expensive.
Pricey. Yeah.
Like buying an old Mercedes-Benz or BMW.
Buying an S-Class or a 5 Series.
Yeah. So, that's one of the categories, the heavily depreciated luxury sedan. The tastefully modified racer.
Tastefully, and it's this bright green car they have in the image that is awesome.
The multi-repo buy here, pay here special.
Okay.
That's one where you don't really know the history of the car, or if it's been repoed multiple times, probably better to just walk away. The one owner former fleet workhorse, so a car that's been used, for
the rental
ride hailing or DoorDash or Instacart or something like that.
I like the next one, the early EV experiment, because it calls out exactly the vehicle I said that surprised me this year. It mentions it has a little Nissan Leaf in the picture there.
Yeah, the first generation Leaf.
It was great when it came out, but now, like it says, it should be represented in an automotive history museum, not your garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the money you're going to pay, you might as well just get a car.
Right?
Get a modern EV.
Get a new one. Yeah, or just not an old beat up one.
Well, I mean, the Leaf in particular, because of its air-cooled battery, tended to have much more degradation of the battery. There's a lot of other older EVs that are fine to buy as long as they had liquid-cooled batteries.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there is the salvage title dream build. Salvage title, means it's either been in a crash or it's been flooded or, something else. And those, sometimes you can clean them up and they may look okay, but there's usually a lot of problems hiding underneath somewhere.
Yeah, salvage titles is always a sketchy. I mean, yeah, that's definitely like if you're a mechanic and you need a car that you know is just to roam around town with, then yeah, maybe a salvage title makes sense. But for the average, don't. Just don't. It's like my cousin one day is like, I'm going to buy a Saab. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, you're not going to buy it. He's like, wait. I'm like, no, I'm not going to work on your Saab for you. It's either going to be my Saab or no Saab. Oh, okay. And he bought a Honda, and it like broke down. It had like an $80 part, and he was going to send it to a shop for like $2,000. I'm like, dude. And I went over to his house, fixed it in 45 minutes with $80 part. He never paid me back, by the way. So if he's listening, you owe me $80, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you work on relatives' cars.
Yeah, $80.
And then the final category here is the Craigslist unicorn grandma car, and they've got a picture of an old 1980s, probably early 80s or late 70s Buick, big Buick, 2-door sedan, and these are the ones that the old apocryphal story of only driven to church on Sunday, by grandma. Probably want to stay away from those. If they're so low mileage.
They're not being driven. Engines love to be moved around.
Yeah. Things like rubber and plastics and gaskets. They
don't like to just sit.
They don't age well. They tires get dry rot. Belts and gaskets get dry rot. Things will leak. Things will seize up. So yeah, you definitely want to keep the fluids moving, keep everything moving periodically. And so, if it's, the garage find, is often more trouble than it's worth, unless it's something that's extremely valuable and, that after a full restoration, will have some value to it. It's usually not worth the effort.
I've worked on 2 Beetles that have sat, one for like over a decade and one for like 2 years, and both of them, like, you had to replace the fuel lines, you had to replace, because there's just like one of them like almost caught fire because the fuel line just cracked and it was shooting gasoline
Jeez.
out onto the firewall. Like, so yeah, and that's just like a few, for those, that's like a year or two. Or the sort of sitting around car, if you are mechanically inclined, cool. But if you're gonna like buy this car and I just need a few things done, and you give it to your mechanic, it's gonna cost you so much money.
Yeah, if you're looking for a perpetual project, fine. But otherwise, probably want to stay away.
Yeah, check all those belts and hoses if you get that car.
All right, the Nissan Versa. It's like the last of the cheap little cars in America, because the Mirage went away. Mitsubishi Mirage went away last year. The Versa, there's been rumors about this for a while, and it's now official that the production of the Versa for the U.S. market ended earlier this month. And so, whatever cars are left on dealer lots, that's it. After that, there will be no more. It's the last new car that you can buy for under $20,000.
Womp womp.
I'm sad about this because I feel like it I know that sedans, cars aren't the thing that they once were, and that people like the little, crossover thing, but it's nice to just have this was exactly the kind of car I would have bought when I first graduated from school and was didn't have a huge budget and wanted something affordable. And I'm sad that there's not an option like that anymore. That was a good option for first-time buyers, and the Versa was a solid little car, but clearly not selling enough to make it worthwhile. What is wrong with people? If you cannot, don't have a big budget,
Someone was complaining online about there's not enough small, cheap cars in America. And then, of course, all the automotive journalists popped in there and started listing cars that were small and inexpensive. And it's not that they're not there; it's just that people aren't buying them. I've had people complain to me like, "Why can't I get a hatchback with the manual transmission?" I'm like, the Golf is still there. It's still a car. You can still get a Golf. The cars are there. Just everyone's complained about, there's no cheap cars and no cheap. I'm like, you're not really trying. And
people would rather overextend themselves to buy something fancier.
Yeah.
Instead, you could buy a Versa for under 20 grand, have a full warranty for 3 years, and it's generally going to be pretty reliable. It's a decent looking little car,
It
and
really
it
is.
drives well.
Yep.
It's a shame. I mean, I had one earlier this year, and it's a good little car to drive, and you could still get it with a manual transmission.
Yeah.
The manual version was like $17,400 for the base trim, and it was a decent little car. But
Well,
it's almost gone, so get them while you can. Snap up your Versas while you still can.
get your Versas. I was sad when they got rid of the hatchback and they just have the sedan now. But again, there's no hatchbacks. I'm like, because you're not buying hatchbacks. I don't know what to tell you. It's the same people that are like, ha ha, millennials don't know how to drive missions. And I'm like, okay, you're a parent. Have you taught your kids how to drive a manual transmission? And they're like,
I did.
No. I'm like, then shut up.
Yep.
If you're not going to pass on the knowledge, I don't want to see your stupid meme on Facebook. Shut your pie hole.
I taught my kids, one was interested to learn, the other one was not. But, they both got lessons in driving a manual. And, so I passed on the knowledge. I did my part.
You did your part. Yeah. Nissan Versa. Pour one out for the
Bye, little
for the
Nissan Versa. Yeah.
Kia Soul's gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kia
that's
Soul's
right. That made me sad.
That's
just
a
so
magical
fun.
car.
I know.
Magical.
It was just a magical little car. It's all the magical cars. I go, gosh, if they ever get rid of the Miata, then I just quit.
Nah, that's their halo. If they sell 4 of those a year, they're not going to get rid of
They
it.
can never get rid of it. Don't do that to me, Mazda.
They're not allowed
please.
to.
Don't.
Unless like what is it? Those people that buy up companies and then ruin them.
Private equity.
Yep. Unless private equity buys Mazda, they should be fine.
All right. So Volkswagen, like a lot of other brands, has a bunch of vehicles that they build and sell only for the Chinese market. They don't export them anywhere else, which is unfortunate because they've actually got some surprisingly interesting stuff that, especially that they've launched this year, including the newest, the ID Unix 08, which is kind of a weird name, and Unix. Unlike the operating system, is spelled UNYX. But this is a mid-size crossover. It has a CATL LFP battery and has a range of 730 kilometers, or about 450 miles. That's on the Chinese light-duty test cycle. So real world is probably somewhere between 300 and 350 miles. But still
pretty
that's
good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, and it's a decent looking vehicle.
It does,
and it's
look
800
pretty good.
volt, so it charges quick.
Yeah,
It's all the things the ID Buzz should have been.
Poor ID Buzz.
Oh,
Poor
ID Buzz.
well, speaking of the Buzz, they have paused production of the Buzz for 2026 because they've got enough of them sitting around that they don't need to build any for a while.
I
It's
just
not
need
good
it to
news for the
depreciate.
Buzz.
Yeah,
I know all the problems with it, but I still want one. The Buzz is like the Wrangler. Like, I know all the problems with a Wrangler, but I've always wanted a Wrangler. I will tell regular people, don't buy a Wrangler. Because it's a Wrangler. But still, you want to be able to hear the person next to you while you're driving, don't buy a Wrangler.
well, the ID Unix 08 has, with the single motor rear drive version, it's got 308 horsepower. And then there's also a dual motor all-wheel drive version. The electronic architecture was co-developed with Xiaopeng, a Chinese automaker. So it's a modern zonal architecture, so it can support all the over-the-air updates and everything. It's got very fast DC fast charging rates. It doesn't say exactly what the charging rate is. at least
just
in this
says 800
article.
volt.
Yeah, it's an 800-volt system, but even in China, a lot of the 800-volt systems are now getting up to, they're getting 5, 6, 700 kilowatts, which is about
What?
double what we get here. And there are some vehicles that are supporting megawatt charging now.
Do they have the megawatt charging stations? Probably.
They do. They have some. There are megawatt charging stations in China.
There's probably like billions of them. You just pull up. It's faster than getting gas. You can't even go inside and get beef jerky. The car charges too quickly. That's
If I don't have enough time to at least run in and get beef jerky, I'm not doing it. I need at least my road trip snack. Come on.
I need my Fritos and my beef jerky and my giant Diet Coke that's gonna make me pee
Beef
in 20
jerky and
miles.
Diet Coke.
Well, you pull up, you charge it, and then you pull your car over to the side, and then you walk into Buc-ee's and get your beef jerky and your barbecue and your ginormous Diet Coke. And hit the restroom before you hit the road, and then drive about 10 miles and turn around and drive back and drain your bladder again.
No, I can make it to the next spot. I can make it.
Okay. Okay, if you say so.
I just got the drink. It's I just got it. I got a good 30 minutes.
All right. Let's see. Every Saturday morning I get this email from Haggerty with some of their links to some of their articles that they have that week on their site. And the one that caught my attention yesterday, which is about options to remember or maybe not. So some of the interesting options that used to be available on cars, at least on some cars. And there's some fascinating stuff here. Like Chrysler, this one I knew, I knew that they had an option in the 1950s for a record player. But they also had a package called the Special Fifth Avenue Ensemble, which included a cigarette case in your steering wheel.
Ladies, please note, a cigarette case built in the hub of the chic new Fifth Avenue steering wheel hands a cigarette to you at the flip of a convenient lever. Ooh.
Wow.
Makes me want to smoke. I'm going to start smoking just because of this car.
I mean, that's a much more stylish steering wheel than you find on most modern cars, too.
It is pretty stylish. That's pretty nice.
I mean, that is pretty snazzy looking, I got to say.
Let me grab my ciggy.
Everybody, could you put other stuff in there? Like if you didn't smoke, could you put like the candy cigarettes in there? Just like
probably. I don't see why not.
I was thinking about this as a child. I was obsessed with candy cigarettes because you could blow on them and then like
and the little poof of
the dust. The dust
because they were a grown-up thing, and it was getting to do a grown-up thing and smoke, which was not cool, but it was cool. Let's face it,
cool.
We thought it was cool.
Smoke. The reason people smoke is because it looks cool.
It looks
That's
cool.
it. That's it. No one starts smoking because they're like, "Ooh, this tastes delicious." Everyone starts because it looks cool. That's it. That's the whole thing. And every once in a while, someone will argue with me about that. I'm like, no. It looks cool. Once you've started, now you're, there's a whole other. Now you're hooked. But everyone starts because this looks cool.
I like the description here. The special plastic steering wheel with dispenser cigarette case.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder how many, do you have to load it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you
must be a little spot where you just, it has to be
they're...
an easy load to a pack of cigarettes. Or hopefully you're not like going like 1, 2.
Yeah, I hope you can just like shove them all like a cigarette pack, like the little metal packs that they had back in the day. You pop it open, you offer a cigarette to a spy.
I mean, sure. Yeah, that'll work.
There's also the station wagon rear window washer.
This is the most over-engineered thing I've ever seen in my life. Was this actually on a car? It really was?
Well, let's see. I don't know if they actually put it in production.
This is a late 60s corporation were offered with an optional magic window. This is the most... What engineer did this?
So
without a marketing person
got washed
looking at
in the tailgate.
Yeah,
so the whole window
it had
goes
a retractable
into
rear
it.
window.
All the way down.
Yeah.
And then it cleans it.
and then presumably it goes back up again. I mean, today we have, rear washers, because when you're driving down the road in messy weather, your rear window gets all gunked up and you need to wash it from time to time so you can see what's behind you. But this can obviously only work in nice weather because you don't want to be opening up your
when
rear.
your rear window isn't messy anyway.
Yeah.
Like when you want this is when there's like salt and dirt and muck.
So close.
They were
so close.
They were really close.
They're like you
Like
almost got
someone
it,
should have
guys.
slid this back across the counter to the engineer and be like, nope.
Yeah, you see what
Give
we're
it
doing
one
at
more
the
try.
front? You see the front where we have the little washer and the thing goes back and
Try
forth?
that in the back.
Yeah.
Just put one of those in the back. You're like, oh, yeah, all the things you've got all the things there.
You have all the parts. You've done this once already. Just put in the back.
Just put it in the back.
My personal favorite of these is the traction in a bottle.
I'm trying to figure out what this is.
That was my
Squirted-
favorite police song.
This literally just says in the
So-
description that it squirts sticky goo
Li-
on the rear
liquid
tires.
tire
This was
chain.
offered on the Camaro in 1969. So you had a bottle in the rear fenders, hopefully on both sides. And it was filled with some kind of sticky goo. They called it liquid tire chain. And you push a button on the dash, it squirt of this goo onto the rear tires, and presumably it was supposed to give you a little more traction.
All
Hmm.
right. Or you
Okay.
just sunk deeper. One or the other.
Yeah.
Right?
Strangely, they don't offer this option anymore. I don't know why.
The goo. They ran out of goo. Turns out the goo gave everyone cancer.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Like most
inhale
things
the
from
goo.
the 60s, it turns out cancer.
People were huffing the goo. They were just pushing the button and sitting by their tires.
And then there was the Dodge Superlight, which added an extra beam in there for the headlights.
I mean, I guess that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays they can do this sort of thing with the adaptive headlight systems that are have just recently become legal in the U.S.
Yeah.
And those systems are amazing.
They're very cool.
Because they can create custom patterns. So as you're driving down a rural road, you can have your high beams illuminating most of the road, but as soon as the sensor detects a vehicle or something approaching, it will dim part of the pattern or dip it down so you don't blind an oncoming driver. I tried that. I had that last time I had a Rivian R1. It had those on there. It was pretty amazing. And then the Honda CR-V picnic table,
We had one of those. We had the
we had
CR-V
one of
with the
those
picnic
too.
table.
the first
We
gen
had one of
CR-V.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the picnic table.
Yeah.
Take it out, put it up, put it
We
back in
had
the
that.
car.
It
We're
was
like, hey, we
awesome.
tried it. And you put it away.
But they brought it back in the passport. You can get it in the passport, and it's sturdier
Yeah.
than the old CRV. Like this one had legs that just folded open, the CRV legs. The passport has them. They like screw in individually, and it actually feels like the table wouldn't break
Yeah,
if you sat
The
on it.
CR-V
Unlike
table
this old
was a
one,
little spindly.
it's a little spindly.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit rickety, but it was cool. I actually used ours. We broke it out every now and then, so there you go. It was useful.
All right, and then the last thing before we get to some listener emails, I was watching TFL yesterday morning, and Tommy and Case TFL has a 1927 Ford Model T, and they took it and put it on a chassis dyno to see just
God.
how much or rather how
How little?
power it actually makes. And the results were pretty amusing.
What did it come up with? What was the
11.2 horsepower.
Yeah.
11.2? Yeah. What was it supposed to make? Do we know?
I think the original rating was like about 24, 25 horsepower.
So it's lost
Ooh.
about half,
Yeah.
more than half, roughly half.
You need to check some.
11 horsepower.
Yep.
Barely goes. Barely goes.
Yeah. I mean, this Model T maxes out about 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's about right.
which is probably about as fast or
You wanna
faster than you
go.
really want to be going in a Model T.
Yeah.
Right, I don't think I want to go that
It's a
fast. Yeah.
death trap.
No, I've only ridden in one once, and I was like, okay, that's enough. Thanks, bye.
I don't want to die.
I don't want to die today. Not today. Not today.
All right, let's get to some listener messages. Starting off with Adam Jakowenko, our old friend Adam. Just wanted to provide my 2 cents about the Mach-E frunk removal story you talked about last week. Ford has said that their data shows people largely don't use it, so they've made it optional. You know why they don't use it? Because it's a hassle to open. At least in the U.S., there is no frunk button on a Mach-E key fob. So you have to either go into the vehicle and manually pull a big lever twice to pop the hood, like most any other car, or you have to pull out your phone, unlock it, open the Ford app, wait for that to load, press the frunk button, and wait for that command to pop the frunk. So what I and some other dedicated owners have done is purchased an F-150 Lightning key fob on eBay and programmed it to the Mach-E, because in addition to all the
Nice.
same buttons, the
Nicely
Lightning fob has a frunk
done.
button. This solution works perfectly and now makes it super easy and convenient to pop the frunk. I have a 2024 Mach-E and use my fob to pop the frunk all the time for groceries, takeout food that I don't want to stink up the car, anything I don't want rolling around, and storing valuables that I don't want to risk getting stolen. It's incredibly useful, but I can see why most people with an OEM fob wouldn't use it. From my perspective, anything that's less convenient to do, people will naturally do less. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Ford did not provide owners with any easy way to open it, so most people don't open it. Then Ford uses that data showing people don't use it to justify removing it. Every Mach-E owner that I show my Lightning fob to says, oh, wow, that's neat. If I had that, I'd use my frunk more. I'd also bet anything that people with Teslas and Rivians adjust their air vents a lot less.
Yeah.
Probably.
I didn't even know you could do that. You could take an F-150 Lightning key fob and program it to work with a Mach-E. I didn't know that was a thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they use basically the same. The fobs basically all have the same electronics in them. If you go to any given manufacturer, all their key fobs are going to be basically the same. Depending on which vehicle you have, some of them may have more buttons than others, depending on what features are on there. Like, if it's a car, it's probably not going to have a power tailgate button, things like that. But in this case, for whatever reason, Ford used gave a fob with a frunk button to Lightning owners, but not to Mach-E owners, which makes no
That's
sense.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just go back to the beginning. If you want, you can just rewind back to the beginning of the podcast where I talk about disappointments.
Yeah.
This is on the list.
It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, Ford, what are you doing?
All right, and then there was a couple of messages, a couple of threads in the Wheel Bearings Discord, and if you're not in the Discord, if you're not participating in there, it's some fun conversations going on in there. Just shoot us a note. I sent out a note to all the patrons the other day with the link. But if you want the link, just send us a note at feedback@wheelbearings.media, and I will send you the link to join the Discord. But Nicole, you want to address these?
Yeah, so I got two. I got a long one and a short one. So the short one was from Jeff D, and he said there are Boston area lease deals to be had on Polestar 3 and 4. I think Nicole should consider one of those. So on my continuing quest to what am I going to replace my old car with, or my new old car, so that's a possibility. I could look at a Polestar. I do like Polestar. Is one of those ones? Same. Which one is the one that doesn't have a rear window?
That's the 4. That's the one we drove in Montreal in July.
Okay, that was so. I was thinking forward. I had a blank.
And
So
that
I
one
do like-
also has software controlled vents.
See, does the 3 also have software control?
The 3
vents?
does not. The 3 has manual vents.
Okay, so the 4 then, Jeff,
Out of the
no
picture,
joy.
no.
But the 3, okay, 3 could be on the list. I can move the vents. Okay, the rear window wasn't a deal breaker. I was just trying to remember the car on the other one, but the vents are a deal breaker. So that's a possibility. The other email comes from Staniel. It looks like Daniel with an S-T at the beginning. Staniel. It says, I just hopped on to add my 2 cents to Nicole's car search. I'd recommend the Lyric as well after 2.5 years and 40,000 miles. A few software fails early, but reliable since. Few software fails. She could
Yeah, well,
pick up
when they did the original launch drive, the software was really buggy. Did you go on that one in Park City?
I don't think I did.
I went on it. The software was trash.
It was bad.
They were like, the software doesn't, they just told us the software doesn't work. And
Yeah.
like, okay. So they told us, so we're like, all right, so we know. When you don't tell us and then like the software's horrible, yeah, you're going to get a bad write-up. But if you're like, hey, it's just not done, but we wanted you to drive the car. And
It's
they're like, oh, okay.
incomplete.
All right, we understand.
It says I could pick up a low mile 24 lease return and still get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Good point. Or I could pick up a new one and use my phone as a hotspot for connectivity. MSRP on a new luxury 1,500 horsepower-ish all-wheel drive is in the mid-60s. Has everything I need. My biggest beef with the Lyriq is its range. While more than adequate most of the time, 330 miles, is really constraining cold weather to the tune of maybe 150 miles on the typical 80% charge. Wow. Frankly, I don't think Nicole's ready for an EV yet, or more appropriately, I don't think EVs are ready for Nicole yet. She seems like she will spend whatever she needs in order to do exactly what moves her, and then she keeps it for 10 to 15 years. I don't think that car has been built yet, especially with battery chemistries evolving as quickly as they are. And I am inclined to agree with you that the EV that I want doesn't exist yet. That I'm just not, it's not there yet. I need to wait a little on an EV because I'm not going to get what I want out of an EV yet. That's genuinely what I think. So I think I'm probably going to end up getting either a hybrid or an ICE vehicle, just because I don't feel like the EV I want exists. I feel like it's not there yet. It's not there yet. I even just hearing software glitches, my eyes start twitching. What do you mean software glitches? What does that mean? And I know you're talking about the old one, but still, what does that mean? What does that mean? So
Yeah, no, I think the software on the GM vehicles is actually in a pretty good place now. Hearing a lot fewer issues with GM software in the last.
See, you're not making me
12
feel
months.
any better. It's in a better place. It's a lot fewer issues. What I want to hear is it's perfect. Period. There are no issues.
I don't know what
period.
car you're going to buy.
You don't want anything built in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's
Gas,
true.
electric,
Seriously.
anything really,
Seriously.
to be honest.
Yeah, my nephew just bought a new car, and his complaint is there's too much technology on it. It's like there's too much stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like, well,
I think, again,
welcome to
that's why
2025.
people are excited about the Slate. They're like, I don't need all that. I stop it. I just want
Yeah.
broom, drive away. I guess
Just
in the
want- what do
Slate,
you want? What is it that you want, Roberto?
they just broom, drive away. Or if you're getting an EV, whatever little, low mileage sound is.
Is that what your EV sounds like? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So, no.
There we go.
There's
So there we go. There's my latest. And this is a task to be pursued in the new year. So I'll let you guys know as I figure this out.
Keep sending in your suggestions.
I know
and,
it's kind of fun to see what you
and,
Never
and
suggest.
stop.
importantly, your justifications.
Yes, the why. Why would Nicole want that car? Like a reason. It doesn't have to be a long one, but you got to
we're-
give a reason, not just like it's cool. No.
Usually, it's us that's stuck giving advice that doesn't get listened to
Right.
from
Now you
people that
guys-
ask us. Now it's
This
your
is-
turn to
It's
provide
your
the advice.
opportunity to know what it's like to be an automotive
What it's-
journalist.
yeah.
Don't buy that car. They go out and buy it. You should buy this one.
Yeah.
They don't buy it.
don't buy a Wrangler. Nicole.
Bought a Wrangler. We like the Wrangler. My
Everyone's-
husband loves his Wrangler.
That's the thing.
He
People-
loves
they-
his Wrangler.
I love a Wrangler. Would I tell a regular person to buy one? No.
No, I wouldn't either. But
That's
it's
the
the
thing.
right car for him. It's the
Yeah.
right car for the right people. You have to know the right car for you. It's all about picking the right car for you.
Yeah.
Not for
Yeah.
6 foot Robbie.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and Happy New Year. And
Happy New Year.
we will talk to you in 2026.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Ever see an idea so clearly in your head, but struggle to find the time to get it all done? Wix helps you go from
I'll get to it.
to
Done.
build a full site just by describing your idea. Let an AI agent handle daily tasks, plan your next marketing campaign, or help out customers so you can grow your business the way you want without it taking over your life. Try it out at Wix.com.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day. at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it. And guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.